She was killed. Then, stuffed in the trunk of her own car. A man, his fiancée and family, tried to cover it up. On this edition of Crime Dude, we find ourselves in Paterson, New Jersey, where the tragic case of Stephanie DeJesus has left her family and community reeling in disbelief and anger. DeJesus, a 38-year-old resident, was found dead, her body cruelly stuffed into the trunk of her own car. A horrifying discovery made on February 25, 2022.
Patterson police investigating after a woman's body was found inside the trunk of a car. She's been identified as 38-year-old Stephanie DeJesus. Her body was found just before 8 this morning near James Street and Ryerson Avenue.
As ABC New York reported at the time, officers were called to the scene of a suspicious vehicle just before 8 a.m. She was the victim of an apparent gunshot wound and was pronounced dead at the scene. Justin Fisher, the man accused of DeJesus' murder, recently pleaded guilty to lesser charges, sparking outrage and accusations of incompetence against the Passaic County Prosecutor's office. The plea deal, which sees Fisher admitting to second-degree desecration of human remains and third-degree hindering apprehension, has left DeJesus' family questioning whether justice has truly been served. Fisher could potentially receive a 15-year sentence with eligibility for parole in just 5. And given that Fisher has spent the last 2 years behind bars, he could be out in as little as 3 years. Critical blood evidence pivotal to the prosecution's case was deemed inadmissible, dealt a blow that ultimately led to Fisher's plea bargain. Despite the presence of eyewitness testimony and surveillance footage implicating Fisher and his accomplices in the crime, the absence of this forensic evidence weakened the prosecution's stance. As reported by NJ.com, the FBI agent had trouble explaining how the luminol process worked, which led Judge Nicolai to disqualify her as an expert witness. By striking the testimony of the FBI agent, the judge effectively barred much of the blood evidence from the trial. The decision apparently gutted a significant portion of the prosecution's case and prompted Barrera to put a deal on the table. Fisher's fiancée, Joelle Martucci, was among those who aided in covering up the crime, yet accepted a plea deal in exchange for testimony. While Fisher's parents also pleaded guilty for their roles in disposing of DeJesus' body. The culmination of these events has left DeJesus' loved ones feeling betrayed by a justice system they believe has failed them. Their emotional turmoil was palpable as they demand answers, questioning why the prosecution opted for a plea deal instead of pursuing a murder trial that could have led to a life sentence for Fisher. Their frustration is compounded by the perceived mishandling of the case, with accusations of incompetence leveled against the very authorities entrusted with delivering justice. In the face of this tragedy, the echoes of DeJesus' life resonate through the courtroom, a reminder of the vibrant individual lost to senseless violence. Her family's grief is not just for their own loss, but for the systemic failures that allowed her death to become a mere footnote in a legal saga marked by missed opportunities and unanswered questions. As someone who follows crime extensively, I can tell you this is not uncommon. Plea deals, courtroom bargains, and legal compromises are as prevalent in our justice system as stenographers. What few seem to want to talk about is the gargantuan backlog of cases needing resolution across our country, and the lack of personnel and prosecutors to see these cases to fruition. Because of this, plea deals, probation, and cases dropped for nebulous reasons have run rampant through our judicial system. Those on the inside say it's close to its breaking point. There simply aren't enough resources to rectify the current backlog. The next 10 years will paint a picture. Thank you for watching. To read further about the story covered in today's edition, check the description for corresponding links. Stay safe. Crime Dude, signing off.